Hey, it's another episode of People Like You. My name is Emmanuel Osaseri, your online personal trainer and wellness coach. And today I am blessed with a very special guest, my man, my brother, Adam Clark. Me
Yes, sir.
and each other for a couple years now. We met at Cal State Bakersfield,
Mhm,
met at the rec center. And so, I mean, it's always been an
mhm.
connection with me and this guy, and we're in for a treat today because he's up to a lot of good stuff, a lot of good encouragement. And so, Adam, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit something about yourself. What are you working on?
Hey, what's going on? I'm Adam Clark. I've been training I've been, I guess, in the industry for about 8 to 9 years. I was a formal D2 athlete, had a brief stint in the CFL, did the semi-pro thing for a while, went and got a bachelor's in kines and PE. Been trying to stay around fitness ever since. Right now, I'm all into my personal training, but hopefully I can expand into bigger
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, man. So that's dope. And with the People Like You podcast, I like to bring on different people to share their stories to inspire other people. If I can put out 100 different relatable stories, chances are somebody that's never listened to this podcast is going to find one person they can relate to. And so you're more on the side
Yeah.
of the encourager, you're the coach. And so what are some things that you're working on as far as coaching and stuff? How'd you get into it and why?
Gotcha. When it comes to coaching, I guess I got that from playing sports. I've always been a team leader, team captain. So I'm used to galvanizing, organizing people, managing large groups. And so I wanted to take that into my passion. I fell in love with fitness. Well, I guess I've always loved it. I just realized how much I loved it as I got older. And I wanted to use my skills and what I guess, gained from being on a team and using it for fitness and other things like group exercise, things like that. So when it comes to coaching online now with fitness, I just want to re-educate people, get people back to the basics, let them know that, hey, fundamentals are really all you need, and you can go a long way with that. I've realized a lot of people are real timid when it comes to fitness as they get older. But, I like to reintroduce the fundamentals, reintroduce the basics, get your body used to what it should be doing, and then we grow from there. And I like bringing other like-minded people together like that.
Right, word. So
Yeah.
that's a ton to unpack right there. One of the things that you say as far as like the intimidation factor, and I know I've written blog posts on it, fear myths of getting into the gym, getting
Yeah.
started and stuff. What are some of the main obstacles that you see as far as people getting started? And then how have you helped them to overcome that? How can somebody listening overcome their fear of getting started in the gym?
Okay, that getting started point. That's always the roughest part. I like to tell my clients that. It's like, hey man, the hardest part was getting here. And once you're here, we can get it going. Usually what I've seen that's most common is people not being used to being outside their comfort zone. A lot of things is embarrassment of where they think they should be physically. So, a lot of guys do the machismo ego thing where I'll put them through a simple push-up test just to check upper body. And all of a sudden, they try to muscle it out and almost pass out. A lot of people think too big. They think, oh, it's my
Right.
first day. I have to show up or I have to show out. I'm like, no. So, but what I do is I let people know, hey, it doesn't matter where you start because that's our first marking, right? It's only going to get better from here. So don't really worry about what your first numbers are if you're deciding to record your first numbers. I know some people just work out, hey, I just want to start. I don't care. But when you're starting out, don't worry about where you're at because you're just starting. Just know it'll get better
Right.
from there, and then use that motivation. Say, hey, I started here. A day later, a week later, a month later, however far, and your numbers will always improve, and that'll motivate you even more.
Right,
So,
yeah, man. This is right up my alley, dude. Consistency and starting
yep.
off small is two of my biggest talking points. And for
Hmm.
what I notice is that when somebody is looking too far down the line, that's
Hmm.
get discouraged. That's when they start
Definitely.
to think, overanalyze. But I like what you're doing, and coaches like you who just focus on today, where you're at. This is our goal for the day, and it's a half step. And then tomorrow we'll see where we're at then. But let's focus on today. And I find that that's
Right.
something that continuously helps people as well too. Like you said, like getting back and start just showing up is the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some other challenges that you see as a coach and what you've been able to help other people overcome?
Oh, one of the biggest ones is self-discipline and accountability.
Mm,
As a trainer, it is very frustrating to work with people who haven't dealt with that accountability barrier yet. We're here to focus on putting the physical together, getting a little bit of the mental to get your mind right. But a person also has to bring that accountability, that discipline, that 50-50, if you will. And getting past that is really tough because once again, you're asking people to get out of their comfort zone. So there's already resistance to begin with. So it's like, okay, let me show you that, hey, not only is it okay to get out of your comfort zone, we're going to be able to grow outside of there. So get them to have very small goals. We set very small goals, like you stated earlier, to get them comfortable accomplishing something small to where they're basically testing the waters. Like, okay, I stepped out of my comfort zone. I didn't like it, but I see where it's going. I'm gonna do a little bit more, a little bit more. And then we grow from there. And then it gives them motivation to hold themselves more accountable because they're more self-motivated. They believe in themselves a little more. They believe into the program a little bit more. So now they're rolling the dice on themselves per se a little bit more. So,
yeah, man, that's true too. Like to that point as well. Like I remember for myself when I first got started, it was I was just doing it. Just I didn't even think I was making much of a difference or anything. When I first started working out, I would just go in and do bicep curls because that's all I knew how to do, and I was just doing it honestly because I was bored. Once you get out of the house, get a little sweat or whatever. But just doing that little stuff every day.
mhm.
I mean, dude, I still, man, the first day I got my compliment on my arms, dude, I was like, oh, okay, there's
Oh,
something to this.
okay.
There's something to
Sun's
sticking
out.
with this. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm sure you know that feeling as well, too. Uh,
Oh man. You know what funny stuff is when I started getting it, I thought I would like it, and I don't like it. I started wearing more to the gym. When I started getting those compliments, I was like, when
yeah,
it's time to
yeah,
shine, it's time to shine. But at the gym, I'm like, hold on. I'm
yeah.
not, it's not a finished product yet, you know?
Right, right, right. So,
Uh,
as a coach, you deal with nutrition as well, right?
correct.
Okay, so for me, I try to keep nutrition as simple as possible. But for
Right.
you, I want to know what's your philosophies, your theories. What have you seen the most successful for people who struggle with diets and as far as like sustainability? What works for most people that you've encountered?
Ooh, okay, so check it out. When I first started and dealing with people and their nutrition and putting meal plans together, excuse me, I thought it would be difficult because so many people want so many different things. So many people have their own specific tastes. Some are vegan, some are vegetarian, things like that. But as I started doing it more, I realized less people want to do their own cooking. Less people want to uh, worry about weighing the food and doing things themselves. And a lot of them like to outsource. I've learned that once people get the gist of what it takes to meal prep in terms of how to order the food, cook the food for the week or however many long, it becomes tiresome with that, including their everyday lifestyle, especially if it's not part of their everyday lifestyle. But a lot of people outsource. And so what I've learned with that is figure out a way to where you can prep with a friend or prep or have someone prep for you or do it in tandem with another buddy. But when doing that, it makes it so much easier for people. They just don't want to deal with the workouts on top of the calories, the food.
Right.
Okay, how much rice, how much chicken, etc. And it's been blowing up even more since I've started. And
Yeah.
usually people are just really picky with the meals. I thought that was the beginning issue, but no, now it's just people just don't want to cook at all. So
Right. Right.
that's
Right.
been the biggest thing. I personally thought it would be, being so strict. But no, it's the act of cooking and how much work meal prepping takes
Yeah.
altogether. I've learned that
Man,
that
I
slows
would
people
never
down.
know because I don't have anybody that I'm meal prepping for right now, and I don't think
Hmm.
I've helped people, but I've never been like a meal prep coach to like kind of follow them week to week. I've just given people advice,
Right.
but like I've never really thought
Yeah.
about that as a challenge. For me, it always seems like what they're eating, not so much the typical
Right.
to meal prep. But yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I can see that as a hurdle as well, dude. Like for me, it goes kind of back to what you were saying earlier, though, as far as getting into the habit of it. Like for
Yeah.
me, like I have a meal prep day and a grocery shopping day, and they both on Sunday.
Hmm.
I've been doing that.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, sometimes I'll just go to the store without even thinking, just out of habit.
Right. That muscle memory.
Man, yeah, if you're not, now that I'm thinking about it, dude, if you're not already in that habit of going grocery shopping and meal prepping on a regular basis, then it's
Right.
going to be challenging.
Yeah.
Going to be
Yeah.
challenging for
And
sure,
I
man.
thought it would, I really thought, because when I did my meal prep, I was tired of eating the same thing. And I was like,
Yeah,
man, I
yeah,
need a
yeah,
variety,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what I thought I would hear a lot. So I reached out to talk to a lot of people, and they were like, oh, I just, I outsourced to such and such. I'm like, people just are, it's becoming easier and more people are gravitating towards the outsourcing thing. So they'll order or have someone else prepare it and deliver it.
right.
Okay, I guess I'm old school now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, seriously.
Mhm.
So what with speaking of food and kind of to segue into weight loss is the biggest topic that I talk about on my channel because it's about what
Mhm.
70% of people want to hear.
Yeah.
What are your weight loss philosophies? What works for what have you seen for your clients? And the reason I ask is there's like really no like right way outside of calories in versus calories out. But I'm just
Yeah.
interested to hear what you do.
Right. And that is fact. I have heard that from you. And I just try to remix that as much as I can. You got to use more energy than you're putting in, and that's really all it's about. And get your body used to it. I always like to remind people your body will acclimate to whatever you put it through eventually, whatever, whether it's vigorous exercise or no exercise. So, regardless of your level of activity, it will get used to that based on what you're eating already. So, with that being in mind, I try to remind my clients maybe when they're starting off, I don't want to give them a big jump and change their diet all the way around. No, I say, let's just eat a little less. Portion control, that's huge. Say, all right, let's not change what you're eating. Let's just change how much first.
Right,
Let's just eat a little less. Let's cut it in half. Let's cut it in a
right,
third. Or instead of having your meals, okay, let's cut that meal in half and have it at two different times and get
right.
them used to slight changes and then grow from there. And
Yeah,
then hopefully that makes things a lot easier. But just, reinforcing what you said, we're using more energy than what we're taking in.
yeah, 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 for sure, man.
Mhm.
It's for me, habit and routine is so important, like especially with things like this 2020 year with all the COVID stuff going on and everybody's schedules and routines getting thrown off, gyms closed, so people have to find different ways to exercise and stuff. So it's really
Mhm.
important to just like figure out what you do and just stick with it. So like for me,
Mhm.
one thing that really resonates with me that really just that's really helped me throughout the years is I have my routine. I have my same workout days for like the last 4 or 5 years. I work out the same things on the same days, different exercises, but my routine is on a body clock now. So the reason I bring that
Mhm.
is with the coronavirus going on and throwing everyone's schedule off, what has that been like for your clients and just people that you've interacted with as a coach? How is people like really adjusted with it? Are people struggling or
Yeah. Great question. A lot of people have used it as a real vacation, meaning a lot of
yeah,
clients or people I associate with just want to take it all and say, hey, I'm just taking time with my family. I'm chillaxing, relaxing.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And I have to respect that. I said, I get it. Hey, take this opportunity, this quote unquote time off to, do what you got to do. Just don't fall off too much. A lot of my other clients who choose to stick with it, I just continue to motivate and inspire, just continue to feed them. I text them to keep them on track because a lot of them want to use this as an excuse to stop working out. So aside from the physical part of being a trainer, I also have to be that psychological pump, like, hey,
right,
sometimes I got to light a fire under your butt to remind you, like, hey, just because we're off doesn't mean we can take days
yeah,
off working out. No such thing as
yeah,
an off day in the gym.
right,
um,
right,
but adjusting to that, I just continue to pump them up. I have had to make adjustments with some clients only because they're looking out for their family, meaning no one-on-one interactions,
of
right?
course, yeah,
So
right,
I've
of
done the
course,
digital thing, and some of my other clients, they're all for it. I do house calls. I'll go meet them and and we knock it out with, at home equipment. But I've worked around it. I just tell people, hey, it's just another challenge. Use this as a way to introduce something new to your body. We can't lift weights. Okay, it's time to get funky outside.
Yeah, man, you gotta
Yeah.
remain flexible, dude. Gotta remain flexible.
Yes.
Shout out to
Yes.
everybody who's adjusted their routine, stayed on their routine, tweaked it and stuff. I know for me, I started. It's actually helped me to tweak my routine a little bit, because when this whole thing hit, I went back to LA for a little bit, and or Bakersfield, and I was staying with
Okay.
for a little bit, and so I was actually doing a lot of body weight exercises and a lot of light dumbbell exercises, and so
Mhm.
that doesn't necessarily give you like size, it really leans you up. I actually increased my repetition, and so now
Nice.
my body has
Yeah.
changed, my routine has changed, but my body has changed as well, and it's just, man,
Mhm.
remaining flexible is so important.
Oh yeah.
Key,
Uh-huh.
man. You
Good
mentioned
stuff.
something. Yeah, you mentioned something earlier about accountability. When people are scared to go to the gym or start working,
Mhm.
you mentioned something about accountability or work buddy or something like that. For our listeners, I want you to, if you could, kind of touch on that and elaborate on that. How important is it for people to have accountability partners or just somebody to work out with?
Yes, accountability is key, man. That's what's going to get you into the gym or out of the house. And sometimes getting out of your comfort zone is much harder for people than it may be for you and I. So I always recommend working out with a buddy, your quote unquote accountability buddy, I like to call it sometimes. Somebody that's going to hold you to your fitness promises, to where you don't have to feel like you're by yourself. I know a lot of times, because you're dealing with your body individually, you feel like this is my journey and my journey alone. Whereas you and I can attest that's not the case. That's why we are here. Sometimes you don't need that motivation from your trainer. They only want to hear certain things from guys like us. But sometimes when they have a best friend, that's that second motivator. That's that reinforcement of, well, if I hear from you and I heard it from my trainer, all right, maybe I can do this. When they have that motivation, and those days where, it's raining, I'm not feeling it, there's traffic, and then you get a text from that accountability bunny, say, hey, I'm on my way to the gym, you're gonna meet me there. It's like, you're not gonna let each other down. That's
Right,
your role
right.
dog. So that helps
Yeah.
you keep yourself accountable, hold your friend accountable, and you guys can go on this journey together. It just helps spread the motivation and inspiration around.
Yeah, yeah, man. And
Yeah.
for me, like, I think I think accountability buddy is the most important when you're first getting started off. And
Yeah.
um, I've had my second guest on here, my second episode, Maria Lopez. She talked about
Mhm.
not depending on accountability um, workout buddy, and I
Mhm.
I understand both mindsets. So the way I put it together is,
Yeah.
when you're first starting off, an accountability button will get you started. They'll get you going. They'll establish that habit, that routine that I was talking about earlier, till you can
Mhm.
get to a place where you don't need one. You don't need to depend on one
Right.
more. Because as a personal trainer, the one thing I hate hearing is, I didn't go to the gym because my
Because
accountability.
my buddy didn't. Oh,
So you
exactly.
know that pain.
Exactly. I'm already knowing, bro. Yes.
Right, right.
Oh,
So, I mean, I try to eliminate as many excuses as I can. And so, if a
yeah.
person could start off with an accountability partner and then gradually get to the place where their routine is so strong that they can go on their own, then, man, more parts. If
Mhm.
your accountability partner is with it like that to the point where they stay on the whole time, even better. But I find that an accountability partner, it could be a blessing, but it could also be a crutch as well, too. So I'm always trying
Right.
to, um,
Yes. Now, I've thought about that as well, and I've
yeah.
also tried to figure out a way to, compromise for both sides. Because I do understand, becoming self-sufficient, not needing an accountability buddy.
Right,
Because the
right.
goal is to be able to do it on your own. That's what we're trying to say. Like, hey, you can do this. You got this. You can stand on your own 2 feet. What I like to promote is treat it like a pay it forward kind of thing. So when you're starting off, don't work out with somebody who's at the same level or lower than you. There's not going to be a lot of motivation. If anything, that can slow you down sometimes. So
Mm,
who you choose in your accountability buddy is important. I would always recommend somebody who has experience, who's a few levels above you, to kind of put you on game and guide you in a way that, hey, okay, this person knows what they're doing. So if I have a question or need help, they got me. So once you get to that level of comfort, they can let you go and you can spread your wings, and then you can become someone else's accountability. But now you can pull someone else up. You get me? So I'm like, that way it doesn't feel like, I'm tied to this person forever. Like, no, I'm just hanging on till I get comfortable. Okay, thanks for letting me go. I'm gonna swim on my own until you find someone else and you go help them,
Yeah, man, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. Like when you're training with someone, and like we talked about at the beginning, like the difficulties with starting off at the first time. I remember, like I said, I didn't know anything. I just knew one exercise. I just did it all the time. But the importance of having a reference that's more experienced than you, and chances are, if I'm working out with somebody that's not as experienced and they want to get a habit routine, it's going to be on me to motivate them to come, and not really vice versa. That's a great point. That's a great point too. Because what happens is when we get familiar in the gym, and I think I wrote a blog post on this as well too, like gym familiarity, when we get familiar in that environment, we start to meet other people, and then we start to see familiar faces, and there's people in the gym that I see, I still don't know their names after like a year. And that's just from like head nodding, like, what's up? I see you, same time.
Yeah.
Familiar, as you get comfortable and stuff like that, you see these people, and it's like almost like, first of all, it's like unspoken accountability. And then for two, when you do introduce yourself to them, you have somebody else to bounce off outside of your mentor, outside of your old accountability partner. And then, like you said, you can kind of flap your wings and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've learned
that's always fun
from asking questions at the gym. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, and it's so lovely to see. Like you said, you ask questions, you expand. Like me being on the outside and seeing somebody who needed a buddy, and now I see them working out on their own. I'm like, I see you, bro. I see you. Spread your wings.
Great feeling, man. So man, for our listeners, that's the way it's supposed to be done. Well, that's the most effective way I've seen it done, is get with somebody, get familiar, get comfortable, find somebody more experienced, like Adam said, to ask questions about, to be held accountable for, and then the rest is just out of pure habit. Still with us, Adam?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. Okay, so at the end of each episode, I like for our guests to leave one tip, one piece of advice, one quote, motivation, something to leave with our listeners that they can take with them from this episode.
Oh man, okay. I would just say one tip would be, when going into fitness, whether it's your journey or someone else's journey, whether you're helping yourself or others, really understand the value of what you're doing, not necessarily just what you're doing. Meaning, regardless if it's high intense interval training, Olympic lifting, cardio, calisthenics, understand the value of that specific exercise. Understand the value of fitness and how it affects your health, because that's the root of everything. So when you really focus on that, it's like at the end of the day, it's nothing but benefits. You can't hurt yourself no matter what. You're only improving yourself. So how you do that is totally up to you. It's your responsibility to find your favorite way to improve your health. And that's all it is. Once you find it, max that out, and you'll fall in love with fitness like all of us.
Boom. There you have it, man. You've left us with a lot of jewels, man. It's a great episode. And before I have you plug in what you're doing in your business, because you just got an app, right, that came out?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. I'm going to let you plug all that good stuff in. But first, I like to ask my guests some funny, random questions to see how you think, and to kind
Let's
of
do it.
What is one thing that you are terrible at?
Oh man, one thing that I'm terrible at. Public speaking. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
You know what? I am terrible at parallel parking.
Really?
I was just moving trucks, right? So I'm moving a bunch of stuff, and granted it was a truck, but I'm like, dude, I can't park this thing. Like, I don't know if I'm so I used to drive a Mustang. So I was like, I don't know if it's because I'm used to smaller cars, but I was like, the people I were with were just talking major trash to me, like, dude, I thought you could drive, and I'm like, so did I. Like, so
Man, the
hey,
parallel
that's
parking
just
struggle is a struggle for many,
I couldn't
man.
do it,
For
and I
sure,
really
man.
thought I could. I really thought I could.
Practice though, man. You gotta get into the habit of it. You gotta
Right,
get into the habit of it.
right.
Would you rather have unlimited sushi for life or unlimited tacos?
Tacos, man, for sure.
Ooh, you said that easy.
Taco Tuesday every day. Yes.
Taco Tuesday every day.
Yes.
Word.
Yeah.
What's your favorite gym exercise?
Favorite. Ooh. Deadlift. Deadlift. I
Deadlifts?
recently.
Yeah, lesser
Oh
side.
yeah, I recently fell in love with it, and I never feel stronger after an exercise than I do doing a set of deadlifts ever. So.
Deadlifts are strong, man. I love
Oh
deadlifts.
yeah.
If you could be any animal in the world, what would it be and why?
A bird, so I can fly literally anywhere I want to.
Ah, you're
I
a
like to
flight
have the
guy.
ability, right? I want to be able to disappear and have a view of everything without people having a view of me.
Man, I tell you, did you
Flying
watch
all.
those do you watch those Netflix like those Animal Planet?
Yeah,
Oh
I've
my
seen
God.
the old ones. Yeah,
Yeah, every time they show like a bird one or something and they're just soaring, man, it looks
bro.
peaceful up there. So
Bro, I be wondering how they get those shots.
word, man.
Like,
Me and Clarissa was talking
right?
about that one episode. Like, what's going how do they do that?
Yeah. Where's
Okay.
the camera?
If you could have
Mhm.
dinner with one famous person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh man, I feel like I just had this conversation the other day. I would have to say Nipsey Hussle.
Ooh, that's a good
I would
one.
have to say Nip. I have to say Nip. I
Community
For him
legend.
to growing up and seeing him in the neighborhood because I stayed over there in the jungles, which is by the Crenshaw district
Right,
for your
right,
followers.
right, right.
Um, to see somebody who I grew up with and literally put his own city on him, like it's more than a hometown hero. So I would love to
Yeah.
pick his brain and see what got him started, what motivated him to really
Mm,
do and start to what he's doing and continue. Like why here, why Crenshaw, why this? So I would love to
yeah.
sit down and pick his brain and see how I can continue it. So hey, how can I put my city on?
Yeah, dude, that's my favorite question. That was a dope answer. That was a dope answer.
Yeah.
Speaking of birds, are you an early bird or a night owl? You like to stay out later? Get up.
Early, early
Me
bird. Hey,
too.
dude, I don't even use an alarm. I've never used an alarm. I'm just be up, bro. I'll be with the birds
Dang.
chirping. That is me,
Dang.
bro.
You're for real, man. What's a bad
Oh
habit you?
yeah. Um, procrastination.
Me too.
Procrastination.
It's the
So in high
worst.
school and college, right? You knew me in college, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I graduated. We both succeeded, but
Uh-huh.
I was so used to writing all my papers last minute. I like that pressure. The pressure
Oh man,
being
that's
on, like
everyone, dude.
you know.
You're in the majority,
Uh,
man.
it's starting to backfire for all you guys listening. It backfires as you get older.
Yeah,
Do not
yeah,
procrastinate.
man.
Don't
Because the
do it.
thing,
Don't do
the
it.
the thing is, you get good at it and stuff too. So,
Right.
like for the longest, I would text. I used to be notorious for texting and driving, and one day I caught myself like, I'm only doing this because it hasn't backfired, and so I try to be mindful
Right.
of bad habits that I get good at.
Hmm.
Because yeah, that would probably
Yeah.
be the worst habit, texting and driving. I've gotten better though.
Uh,
All right, if you
Right.
had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh man, my superpower would be, uh, and that could be anything. It would probably be invincibility.
Mm,
Invincible. It's an easy one, right? I
yeah.
say that only because I'm an athlete that's had asthma and allergies, and that combination sucks. So it'd be nice to be
Dang.
invincible and immune for a while to know what it's like to not have asthma and not have allergies. So that's
Word,
pretty much
man.
it. You know what I'm saying?
That word, man. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Oh, dogs, for sure, for sure.
Dogs. All
Dogs.
right, last question. You're stranded on an
Okay.
island. You're stranded on an island, and you can only take 3 items. I love this question.
3 items. Okay. I'm assuming
That's
on
the
the
way.
island there won't be service, so the cell phone will be pointless.
Throw the
I'm gonna
technology
take my
out.
hey, I'm going to take my Walkman. I have a solar powered CD Walkman.
Shut
I definitely do. If I
They
didn't
have
already
those?
pack
That's
it, oh yeah.
insane, dude. I've never
Hey,
heard of that before.
if I didn't pack it, I would bust it out because I definitely keep my CDs. I listen to all my CDs, so I would bring that. I would bring uh what's his name? The Wayne's Brothers book, Homie the Clown, Homie Don't Play That. It's a great book. Recommend it. Very nice. It was either between that or Gucci Mane's book, but I read that so many times. I'm like, yeah. So it'll be that, and something that can help me start it. Oh, and my Swiss Army knife. So,
Nice, dude.
yeah,
Nice. One of
yeah,
the
this is
best
something for
things. That's like
survival.
one of the
Yeah,
best island question answers, man. So funny, man.
yeah,
Adam, man, I want to give you a
yes,
big
sir.
thank you, dude, for coming on, man.
Thank
Short
you for having me.
asked you this week, dude. I know you're super busy. You got the business starting up again. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
plug it in. What's the name of it? How can people find you? If somebody wants a personal training coach, where could that
Oh
person
yeah.
to? And then if a person needed a dope app as well, what's an app that you would recommend?
Gotcha. You can find me at mypthub.net. It's also an application. It's Captain Clark PE for physical education. I have free programs, free online coaching. If you ever want to come chat it up, you ever, have any questions about fitness, talk to me at any time. The same goes for the Instagram. If you have any questions, you can find me at captain_clark.pe at Instagram. And for my app that's coming out later. So I can't talk too much about it yet because it's only in phase 3.
Ooh, okay.
But I
But you'll
do
have
have
it
an app
announced on
that
like your Instagram and stuff, right?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
It's going
so
to
yeah,
be
people
for
can find
active
you.
people. So, keep in mind, you'll be one of the first people I let know. But it's in that
Yeah.
for active people, hopefully, inside and outside the gym, to get back with socializing, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
look
dude.
for that
Great
soon.
idea. Great
But I
idea.
appreciate you having me on, man. I really do. It's
Yeah,
good
thank you
stuff.
so much, man. Good luck with all the stuff that you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.